Black Nobody, and this is based off of a true experience, that happened to me, so I'm glad you're able to see it. How long are you going to follow me? Why don't you just pull us over? Finally, there goes the lights. I immediately glanced at my dad as I watched him collect himself, and he would say, in situations like this, son, sit up straight, always have your hands where they can see them, and be extremely polite. I stared in the rearview mirror as I watched the officer approach my side of the vehicle, and I'm just thinking to myself, well, why is he at my side of the vehicle anyway, and I'm not even the one driving? He flashed the light and knocked on the window, and as the window went down, I felt immediate fear. So my mind began to ask itself questions I didn't think applied to me, and my mental questions began fading due to what he first asked me. And he would say, "Where are y'all going?" I'm like, "Well, home." And he's like, "Where are y'all coming from?" And thinking to myself, this is crap. Like, did it matter where, maybe say, Mike Brown, where he was coming from, after he was gunned down walking across a Ferguson Street? Would it matter if I told him at 9:30 on a Monday night I was coming back from my ballroom and swing dancing classes in Decatur? A threat to society? Well, no. Riding while black? Yeah. He reached his hand out and asked my dad for his license, and the pace and movements of my dad's actions were very deliberate and slow, making me suddenly aware that he too was fearful of the situation. Both the officer and my father knew there was a taillight out. Well, it seems pretty simple, right? But the perplexity of his next question took me to a place in my feelings that I've never ever experienced. And he would ask me, do you have a driver's license or some sort of identification? And I said, well, I have a permit. I'm a 16-year-old African-American male, and I've probably seen things in my 16 years than you have riding these backwoods of Gwinnett County. I've visited 5 of the 7 continents. I've been to the land of my ancestors. I've stood at the resting place of Henry VIII. This doesn't make me another black nobody. I live with 2 parents who grind 4 jobs just so my mind can be trained in the observations of powers and the skills to analyze, so that I can question who, what, why, and how you have the balls to emasculate my father in front of me and look at me in the image of some 16-year-old hood rat with sagging pants and bad posture. Well, contrary to what you think, Mr. Officer of the Law, I am an educated young man, wearing khakis, with a belt, and a great posture. So as my anger seemed to fester, as time passes, and I want to get something straight, I don't dislike the police, or of course I don't dislike white people, but this particular policeman was everything I had a problem with. His tone and his intent was to provoke me while leaving my father powerless to protect me, leaving me with an unexplainable feeling of confusion and rage. I don't want this incident to make me hate or distrust white people or the police. You see, what people don't understand is the blatant disparity of how laws are enforced, nor do they realize that based on the fact that I'm African American, my life is deemed invaluable. Now you see, a white kid, young white teenager can go somewhere without anybody noticing what he looked like or what was on him, and he can, say, shoot up the place, without much controversy around it. If I went to a store and purchased guns and 600 rounds of ammo, they would have gotten me in the parking lot. That dude from Colorado, who was dressed in black, draped in weapons, successfully massacred 12 people, didn't look crazy to anybody. Well, me, I would have had the kill shot. So, by the time I got home, overcapacitated with emotion, I threw my stuff down and had to catch myself, realizing, I wouldn't be any different from maybe those rioters and looters in, say, New York or Ferguson. At times like this, I just refer back to the words of Malcolm X. He would say, "I'm black first. My sympathies are black. My allegiance is black. My whole objectives are black. I have no interest in being American because America has no interest in me." Thank you.